Speaking of the good times that are coming in the future, in about 45 days or 46 days, I've now lost count. Roisin texted me the other day to tell me how many days it was. But I'm going to New York, so that is my first big exciting 2016 thing. Is me and Roisin and Jill and our friend Lauren are going to New York. I am so excited, I can't even tell you. I'm going to do a lot of vlogging when I'm there. Speaking of, I need to get a new vlogging camera. If anyone has any recommendations or suggestions for a good vlogging camera that's good quality but doesn't cost an absolute fortune, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you use if you're a vlogger and what camera you've been using lately. So I need to do that because I'm so determined to vlog New York. Because while I know that you should just enjoy the experience of being there and not be completely concerned with capturing it, I love looking back at my Australia vlogs, I won't lie. I love to look back at them and remember where I was at certain points and what I was doing and just get that kind of really nostalgic feeling that it just takes you back. And so I really want to vlog New York. I think it's going to be amazing. Roisin has got us like totally planned out. She's an organisational genius. We're going to do all the kind of like, or most of the kind of like touristy things that we are really excited about. Roisin's been a couple of times before, but the rest of us haven't, and so we're really excited to experience all the kind of touristy things, that the sort of stereotypical New York trip things. Roisin and I are going to do the Gossip Girl tour, which I just, oh, I'm excited for that. We are there for, well, it's technically 6 days actually. We leave Glasgow on the Monday morning and we come home on the Saturday night. So we've got Monday to Saturday that we're going to go and just explore the city and have an amazing time. And we are going to see Aladdin on Broadway, which, like, oh, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am about this. So I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, that trip it's just one of these trips of a lifetime, and I have wanted to go to New York since before I can remember. It's been top of my travel bucket list, and the fact that I get to go in such a short space of time is nuts, but I couldn't be more excited about it, and so that is definitely a huge deal for 2016. With work, I've got a couple of work sort of trips that I'm going to be going on in 2016 over the next couple of months, and kind of just building again on what I've already been doing work-wise. So there's not really a whole lot to say about that side of things at the moment, but just carrying on with what I've been doing. So let's talk 2016 goals. The first thing and the most important thing for me in 2016 is that I am going to finish writing one of my books. And I talked about this in a video a few weeks ago about just creative writing and that kind of thing, writing a novel. I definitely want to finish one of my books in 2016. I want to finish one of them in the first half of 2016 actually. I want by June. I want one of these books to be finished, and it's completely doable, it is completely achievable, and there is absolutely no reason for me to not finish this. And as I've said in the previous vlog, it's not necessarily going to go anywhere. No one else is necessarily ever going to read this book. But for me, it's something just as a personal goal that I really, really, really want to do. I want to be able to say that I have completed a novel, I have written it, I have lost myself in this world with these characters who I've created, and I want to achieve that, and that's something that I've wanted for a long time, and I have let other life things and laziness, basically a combination of the two, get in the way and stop me from doing it. And so by the middle of this year, this book is going to be finished. I am saying that on here on camera to force myself to actually do this, and it's not like it's a chore, it's not like it's a trial. I don't go and sit down to write and think, oh, why am I doing this? This is awful. I love doing it. So I want to finish this, and that is something that is going to happen in the next few months. On a similar note, I really want to focus on brain food in 2016, and by brain food I don't mean oily fish, much as though I wish I liked stuff like that. I can't stand fish and don't ever want to eat them. But I don't mean actual literal, you know, food and nutritional sort of substances. I mean reading and engaging with intellectual material that I have always been very, very passionate about and that I've always loved doing, but again in 2015 is something that I have let slip, and I've let it go and not focused enough of my time on it, and I genuinely notice the difference when I do. It's something that I don't like to admit about myself, but I think you've got to be honest with yourself about yourself if you want to get anywhere in life, and I can be very lazy. I know that I can be. It's just part of who I am, and there's nothing wrong with having like a side of you that likes to curl up on the couch and watch TV, because for me engaging with TV is also engaging with my mind, because I don't take it lightly. I get very involved in the shows that I'm watching, and I think about them a lot and I read about them a lot and whatever. But yeah, as I say, there's nothing wrong with having a side that likes to kind of just chill out, and I think that having chill out time is really, really important. But I know that since I started this full-time job in August, I've definitely kind of let my productivity and my time management outside of work really go to pot. I haven't done enough with my time, and I know that I haven't, because I basically come home from work and a lot of the time just can't really be bothered forcing myself to do anything. So I will just sit and watch another old episode of Pretty Little Liars or Once Upon a Time, or I will, you know, binge on some other show, and that's great and I love it. But I find that watching things that I've seen before, it's sort of comforting. It's easy to just kind of sit and chill and not have to think too much. But when you make the effort to do something more productive, so it honestly is as simple as this, but over the past few weeks, rather than when I'm sitting down just before I'm going to bed and watching, as I say, an old episode of Pretty Little Liars, or, you know, an old episode of Friends or whatever, I have been watching TED Talks. And it sounds like such a simple thing, and it is such a simple thing, but the difference in how I feel is insane. And I know that that probably sounds ridiculous, but I think because I'm listening to intelligent people talk about important things, and that's something I really care about, it makes me feel so much better. I think you should never stop learning. I've forgotten who it was that said that education is like a continuing process throughout your entire life, that you should never stop learning, and that the person who's stopped learning has stopped living. And that's definitely something that I think is really important. Educating yourself on things that you care about, but not just things that you care about, but things that affect people who aren't you, is really important. And that's something that I would say in 2015 I got a lot better at. There was a lot of talk in 2015 about understanding your privilege and understanding what your own privileges are as a person. And for me, I've always been very passionate about feminism and gender equality issues, and the ideas of gender and sexuality, and I've always read a lot about these kind of things and watched a lot of videos on YouTube and whatever, discussing these kind of issues. But it's in 2015 that I think that whole idea of intersectionality has really hit home with me, and I've really begun to understand what intersectionality is and means, and that idea of like check your privilege that I know a lot of people on social media eventually kind of got sick of and started saying like, oh, this is like a bandwagon that people keep saying and people don't really mean it. But I think it's so important to actually do it, and it's something that I definitely have done a lot more of this year in terms of understanding my own privilege as a person and understanding the things that make up who I am, how they then affect how I am seen in the world and how I view the world, and how these two things kind of interact with each other. So the things that make me who I am influence the way that I read other situations, but they also affect how I am viewed by people around me. So getting to grips with that and understanding how deeply embedded issues of race and gender and sexuality and class and all of these issues are with... This video is taking a very interesting turn. I just suddenly realised what I was sitting talking about. But anyway, I think it's important, so I'm going to keep going. But yeah, getting to grips with intersectionality and what that means, I think has been something that I've really grown into in 2015. It's something that has made me aware of mistakes that I've made in the past, and I think that that's really important, because I've always been someone who gets really worried about saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, and you know, especially when it comes to issues that kind of affect mass groups of people. It's definitely made me realise that there have been things in the past that I've said that I now completely disagree with, and I now completely understand why I was wrong, and I think that that is a huge deal, and it's something really important, and it's something that you only get by continuing to kind of learn and educate yourself. So that's a huge thing for me in 2016, is to keep doing that. There was a quote in a TED Talk that I watched recently, and I've now forgotten who it was by, but I'll put it across the screen here. But it said that, again, I've forgotten the wording of this, I'll put it here, or put it in the description box down below. There'll be loads of quotes in the description box for your viewing pleasure. But basically it said that it's better to be ignorant than to only be educated on your own point of view, which really struck a chord with me. You have to allow yourself to kind of read and find out about other people and what their experiences of life are and all that kind of stuff. And so that is something that I want to keep doing this year. That's a big goal for 2016. Another thing that I want to focus on in 2016 is mindfulness, which is another one of these words that is doing the rounds and everyone's jumping on the mindfulness bandwagon and getting colouring books and whatever, but I think that they're great. I got colouring books for my mum for Christmas, Emma got me one, my brother got one for his girlfriend. It's something that a lot of people are starting to kind of try, and it actually is really soothing. I have a great deal of difficulty switching my mind off, ever. Even like I can't sort of, even when I'm going to sleep, my mind is going kind of at a million miles an hour. Not in a way that prevents me from going to sleep, I sleep very well, but I do find that there's very rarely a point in the day where I'm just kind of sitting calmly. I'm thinking about things all the time. Even if it is just like work related things, that's something I want to try and stop doing, because I do find that little silly niggly things from work stick in my head, and I'll get home from work and I'll be like, oh, that really annoys me that I'm going to have to deal with that thing tomorrow. And rather than just allowing myself to kind of remove myself from it, enjoy being at home, forget about it and deal with it tomorrow, I think about it and I obsess over it, and that's something that I want to try and step away from. And that is why I think mindfulness and giving yourself kind of like mindfulness and self-care and just taking the time to allow yourself to kind of be calm and be present, which is something I struggle with a lot, is really, really important. Speaking of being present, that is something else that I want to work on in 2016, but I want to work on it in terms of changing the way that I view and experience time. Now this sounds very serious and complicated and bizarre, but it's something that I have been thinking about a lot lately, and I was talking to Emma about it and talking to Roisin about it, is that I think the way that our society, it's very difficult not to experience time in this way because it's how it's structured by our society. So the way that especially I think Western society structures time, and this kind of yearly, everything that happens in a year is just like this continual countdown. So it feels like everything in life becomes a countdown, which, as morbid and sad as it is, can only really be a countdown to the end of your life, which is not a positive way to experience time, and it's not a positive way to spend your time while you are alive. I think I'm finding that everything is a countdown at the moment. So the year in itself, it feels like New Year happens. So right now we're in that first sort of few day period where it's, you know, it's the start of the year and everything's new and we're focused on, you know, new goals and going to the gym and healthy eating and healthy living and, you know, new year, new me, hashtag and all that kind of stuff. And I think that only lasts a very short period of time, because then suddenly, especially the way that things like retail work, the minute Christmas is over, it's the summer clothes that are in the shops. I am currently working in a sort of office and online retail environment, and so I am now hyper aware of this. But the minute that Christmas and New Year are over, the summer stock starts coming into the shops, and so it's countdown to summer, countdown to the warmer weather, countdown to wearing your bikini, countdown to your summer holiday. And it's the minute that the new year start, you've forgotten that, you know, it's something new and you're counting down to the next thing. So it's a countdown to summer. And then we all know the minute that we get to kind of, you know, August time, it's all the winter stock that comes in. So you've forgotten about summer while you're still in it, because now all the winter stock's there, and it's suddenly countdown to Halloween. The minute Halloween's over, countdown to Christmas. I went into a shop yesterday, which is Hogmanay, or New Year's Eve as it's sort of more commonly known if you don't live in Scotland. But I went into a shop yesterday, it was just WH Smith, and they had Easter sweets on the shelves, and I was like, it's not even New Year yet, we haven't even got into 2016 yet, and the Easter stock's already coming in, and it forces you to live in the future. It doesn't allow you to live in the present and to enjoy the day that you're in, because it tricks your mind into constantly thinking about what's coming next. I think from a financial point of view that this is probably one of the main reasons that this happens is because you have to plan financially for the future. But it just doesn't allow you to kind of enjoy the time that you're in. And then on a much smaller scale, it's like a countdown with it. What I find anyway, that during the week, it's a countdown to the weekend. So every week I go into work on the Monday morning and I go, oh, I can't believe it's Monday again. And everyone says it, everyone goes, oh, the weekend went past so quickly. And it's Monday again, and then suddenly it's Wednesday, so it's good because we're halfway through the week. Thank goodness we're halfway through the week. And then it's Friday, and it's joy because it's the weekend's here and the working week's over, and you know, you've got a couple of days all to yourself to do whatever you want to do. And then bam, it's gone again. And it's just like you're counting down, constantly counting down, and counting down the hours in work that, you know, count down to the end of the day, count down to the end of the week. And it's not conducive to enjoying your time because you're not really enjoying the time that you're in. I am very guilty of it, and it's something that I think you probably deal with a lot better if you are in your dream like job situation and life situation, which very few people are in, which is probably why this is, you know, the way that we experience this. But if you're in a job that you're extremely passionate about, you're very satisfied with your working life, you're in control of it. Maybe if you run your own business and so you've got a lot more kind of creative control over the situation that you're in, then you would maybe feel a bit more kind of positive about it. But I think if you are working for someone else, if you're working in a job that doesn't completely and utterly kind of bring you joy constantly, which nothing brings you joy constantly, but you know, something that you wake up in the morning so excited to do, then it's difficult not to experience time that way. But it's something that I want to really work on changing this year. I want to find ways to stop living in the future. There's also another quote that I love. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. And that's by Lao Tzu, which is probably not how you pronounce that. I'll put it here. And that's a quote that I think is really true and something to think about. I want to try and find ways to focus more on the day-to-day, and I'm going to be doing that hopefully via the happiness planner, which I ordered a couple of days ago, and it's going to be here in the next few days, and I'm so excited for that. I'm going to do a review and show you it once it arrives. But it's a planner that really helps you to organise your day and organise your time in a productive way that helps you focus on the things that are going to make you happy. And I think that that's really important and something that I want to make use of, because I want to focus on making the best possible use of my free time in 2016 and not wasting it, which I think I probably did a fair bit of in 2015. Other things that I want to just try and do are the usuals, which sound so predictable, but I want to get better at going to the gym. I've got a gym membership and I do go an odd time after work, but I want to really much more focus it into my routine and make it much more of an unavoidable part of my routine. Because once I'm in the habit of it, it'll be okay. It's just getting into the habit of it. So that's something that I really want to do this year, is focus on my physical health, because I don't do enough of that. And I want to be just better at that. You only get one body in this life, and it's important to treat it well, and I don't always do that. And so yeah, that's a big goal for 2016. And the last thing, which again is kind of like a very general thing, I think the people who I find myself drawn to and that I admire a lot and that I really like, in terms of, you know, even just sort of celebrity culture, are people who seem very, very sure of what they're doing and very passionate about what they're doing. The thing that they're doing with their time is something that really means something to them. So I go on about her all the time because I love her a lot. But I think it's probably why I love Jennifer Morrison as much as I do, because she, as an actor, cares so much about the acting work that she's doing and the parts that she's playing, and she's so invested in everything to do with the show, not just the character that she plays, but the writing and the directing and everything that's kind of come to make this character who she is. She's so invested in all of that. But then outside of that, she's writing a lot, she's directing, she's moving into kind of more production, behind the scenes roles that are things that she really wants to kind of get her teeth into. And watching her get interviewed and talk about these things and hear how hard she's working and how much she loves what she's doing just puts a big smile on my face and makes me think, that is what I want. And that's what everyone should want, is to find the thing that makes you that excited about life. And so I want to just keep focusing on figuring that out this year, and hopefully if I continue doing the kind of creative things that I want to do and writing more and get back to my blog. Bless it, it's been neglected since August, but keep making my videos and all that, then maybe I will figure that out. And last of all, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel this year and all the years before it. I've now been doing these YouTube videos for over 3.5 years, and this year has been by far the biggest year for my channel in terms of my regular uploads, in terms of the number of videos that I've put up in a week. I went through a phase when I had time to do it that I was putting up 3 videos a week, and it's definitely shown because my channel has grown so much more this year than it has any other year. There's almost 800 of you now. I'm just shy of the 800 mark, but it just means so much to me that people have subscribed. And I know that back in April I was sitting at 300 and something, because that was when I did my 3 years on YouTube video, and I was sitting at 300 and something. And now well, it's the 1st of January today, this is New Year's Day by the way, by the end of the year I've more than doubled that number. It really brings me a lot of joy, and YouTube has definitely been one of the things this year that has really made me happy and given me something to throw myself into that I really care about, and I want to keep doing that this year. Thank you so much for coming on this little very strange philosophical journey with me today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I may split it into 2 and do a 2015 review and 2016 goals as 2 separate videos, because this is going to be long. But thank you so much for watching this and for watching all of my other videos and for hitting that subscribe button if you have. It means the world to me. I hope that you all had a great 2015 and that you are looking forward to 2016 regardless of what has happened over the past year, and that we can all make it the best year yet. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye! And this idea that on social media everything looks perfect and everyone kind of constructs this perfect vision of their lives, which